Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today's Relationship Drama Friday, where we can just sit back and enjoy the tea. Unless you posted to Reddit recently. Posted by OKDonut3656. Am I wrong for throwing my husband out after finding nudes from the nanny? This story comes from Best of Reddit Updates. I, a 28-year-old female, my daughter, Cassie, 11 months old, and Alex, my husband, is 35. So basically, it's just what the title says. I had Cassie and then went back to work. I'm a psychologist, as I could never be a stay-at-home mum. I'm actually French, but I live in the US. So when I returned to work at the 4-month mark, I had a difficult birth. We looked around to find a nanny who could look after Cassie while me and Alex went to work. We saw a few girls, and then one of Alex's colleagues suggested his daughter, who dropped out of college. Let's call her Liv, 20, female. Everything went well. Admittedly, I did notice her being quite attached to Cassie, but I brushed it off as a good friendship between the two. She also liked Alex. It was obvious she had a crush on him, always batting her eyelashes and giggling. I actually found it amusing, as I'm quite confident in myself. He always laughed it off with me. But then on Thursday night, he asked me to do something on his phone while he bathed Cassie, and I saw some pictures flash up from Liv. When I looked at them, they were obviously sexy nudes. She was wearing skimpy lingerie and in provocative poses. I looked back at the history, and she'd been sending these for a while. As far as I can see, Alex never responded, but obviously, texts can be deleted. When I asked him, he got defensive and told me to stop using my psychology tricks on him. I was not happy with his non-answers, and it ended up in a shouting match, waking Cassie. So I got him a bag and threw him out. I told him he's not welcome back until I have answers. I'm considering taking Cassie back home to see my family in France for a little bit. His mother and friends have been blowing up my phone, saying I'm too harsh and they were harmless texts. Nevertheless, I feel disrespected, and that doesn't fly with me. Was I too harsh? Should I accept his claims that he never responded? Edit. Not husband, fiancé. Also, I'm taking Cassie to France. We will visit my family for a few weeks, and Alex has given consent. Even if he never responded, he should have. He should have told you immediately. He should have blocked and fired her. And yeah, what if it is even worse, and he did respond to her photos and delete the messages? He might have kept the photos because he wanted them, and thought he could explain it away if there were no messages. Good luck trying to fool a psychologist. A commenter says, there's nothing harmless in that behaviour. You've been betrayed. That he tolerated it is enough. Where were the texts telling her that he was a married man in love, a father, her dad's friend, and that this was her last 2 weeks? Why did he immediately jump to accusing you of tricks? I would have fired the nanny, told Hub's best friend exactly why, and then watched his reaction. You're not wrong. I'm sorry your husband cheated on you by continuing to accept these pictures. I'm also sorry he allowed that person to access your home and your whole family. Opie responded and said thank you. Yes, I fired her with immediate effect, and her father has been texted. Update. I'd like to start this off by addressing the comments stating that I'm kidnapping my daughter. I'm taking her with me to visit my family back in France for a few weeks. Her father has given his consent. It's a non-issue. There was also confusion about my job. I work in the psychology field, and I was just using this post as a soundboard really. The responses from his friends and mother made me question myself. As stated, I informed Liv's father of what happened. He was furious, both with Alex and Liv. He apologised to me and said he will try and get the truth from her, and that she rebels any chance she gets. But this was disgusting. I then looked through a camera in my daughter's nursery, and I saw a clip of Liv asking her if she wanted a sister or brother from Miss Liv and Daddy. That made me feel sick to my stomach. She responded to her dismissal with denials, but I told her I had the footage, and that she was never to lay a hand on my baby again. But if she wanted Alex so bad, she could have him. I reminded her that how you get them is how you lose them, and he would soon tire of a 20-something college dropout kid. Alex returned to the house temporarily for us to talk. After me showing him the camera footage and text from Liv, he broke down and said he was really sorry. He admitted that whilst nothing physically had happened between them, they'd been exchanging photos and messages for a month or two. He showed me the original messages and it was her who pursued him. She started by saying that she felt like a schoolgirl around him and that she needed advice from an important man like him, and sent a photo of her in lingerie, asking if it was sexy. He started out not really responding, but after a few texts he responded and it started from there. She was saying things about them being a happy family together, but he never responded to those texts. He begged me to forgive him and start fresh. He said we can move and that we have plenty of money. He will do whatever I want. I told him that what I want is to go home for a few weeks, so that's what I'm doing. Cassie and I are flying out tomorrow. He honestly looks so pathetic right now. They're welcome to each other. There'll be no wedding, and I'll be consulting with a custody lawyer once I get to France to see my options both in the US and internationally. But as someone in the comments said, I stayed in the US not because I think it's a good place to live, but because that's where Alex was based and I want to build our family. However, I always want to support the father-daughter relationship, but he can't have our daughter and his nanny. That's not happening, and I would like to move home and most certainly away from the slutty nanny. I call bullshit on him not responding at first, and not responding to texts about them being a happy family together. He could have easily deleted certain messages to create a story, but there were no messages telling her to stop, or that they weren't going to be a happy little family together. Mini update from Liv's father. He found and sent me some of the deleted messages. Liv talks about wanting me out of the picture, so she can be Cassie's mum. What the hell? A commenter adds, laughing my ass off. Yeah, she was asking your child if it was cool if she got pregnant, but she's never slept with your fiancé. He's such a coward. Still denying? He's proven himself to be a terrible candidate for reconciliation. Good on you for seeing them both as they are, and for leaving him for you and your child's sake. A lot of women would wait around until it happened again and again and again, except he'd just get better at hiding it. Opie responds and says, thank you. I won't allow my daughter to think that's a normal relationship. Another commenter adds, from the nanny cam footage, it sounds like she was positioning herself to baby trap him, so he's forced to provide for her. It was definitely on her mind to purposely get pregnant, and a woman can tell a man she's on birth control. It doesn't always mean she actually is, like in this situation. I'd make sure he and especially her dad see that clip, specifically pointing out that that's what it sounds like. For him, it was an exciting fling with a younger woman. I bet being baby trapped by her didn't even cross his mind. And if it still hasn't, she still has a chance. Connecting her to you and your child's life forever through a sibling that she's brought into the world with the goal of being provided for at least the next 18 years. Opie responds and says, yep, that's why I think it's better to move back to France. If he wants her, he can't have our daughter. Final update. Cassie and I have been in France for 2 days now, and it's been so wonderful to be back with my family after missing them for so long. They've been doting on Cassie, especially my mother and father, who, even though they're divorced, try to get along for the sake of me and my sisters. Mum had a whole room set up with toys and blankets for Cassie, and I've also been loving the wine and cheese, and gossiping with my sisters. It's been good to let loose after all the stress, honestly. I've gotten to ride my family's horse, and show him to Cassie finally. Cassie's as happy as I am. I'm meeting a lawyer today, and my ex has been ringing. I let him talk to Cassie whenever he wants, but I'm refusing to engage with him whilst I'm on my break. Liv contacted me out of anger when Alex cut all contact with her to show me that they had a one-night stand a few weeks before I found out. Someone adds, does your ex know that you know that they slept together now? Opie responds and says, I think he does. I believe Liv's dad had a conversation with him. Well, he fucked around and found out. This next story comes from Best of Redditor Updates. OP40 falls in love with an escort 25 female that he hired for 5 consecutive years. 8 years ago, my wife passed away and I had a difficult time coping. Eventually, I tried online dating, but it went nowhere. I started seeing an escort and she was amazing. We really connected on an emotional level as well as a physical level. I've seen her at least once a week for the past 5 years. I feel like we've grown close over this time, and she's opened up to me as well. She's told me her real name, and I've been to her actual condo. She's told me her reasons for becoming an escort. We talk about her family. I've even taken her on vacation a few times. We text daily. We've talked about her school, her career, and this is what's really messing me up. I have a strong connection, but I also realize it's her job, and I'm paying her. The problem for me now is that she's done with school and is ready to move back home to begin her career and quit being an escort. She told me this during Christmas. She bought me a PlayStation 5 for Christmas. What the hell? She told me it was a thank you for being a great client all these years and said she was going to miss me. She said that even though I was a client, I always made her feel special. She said she's going to miss venting to me and appreciated me always listening to her. She said she's planning on making the move this spring. I'm mentally preparing, but I don't know if I can handle it. I think I'm in love with her. I want to tell her this. I want to tell her that I love her and that she means everything to me. I really think she has feelings too, but I don't know. Maybe she's just really good at her job. It's probably a long shot, but I'd love to be in a real relationship with her. Hell, I'd even relocate with her. Should I tell her that I love her? I'm 40, no kids. I don't have a lot of close friends. All I have is my career. What do I have to lose? I don't know. Then again, if this is all just part of her job as an escort, I don't want to make her feel awkward. Too long didn't read. I'm in love with an escort. She's quitting and moving away. Do I tell her my feelings? Update. So I told her how I felt. We had another amazing time this weekend. We were cuddling in bed, looking at potential homes for her when she moves back. She seemed very excited about her future. And at this point, I wasn't going to say anything. She seemed so excited about her future that I didn't want to ruin the moment. As we were about to fall asleep, she said she's going to miss this. I asked her to explain, and she said she's going to miss snuggling with me, miss my massages, hair play, and chatting and hanging out in bed. So then I told her. I told her how amazing she was, and how I was excited for her future too. I said that she'd positioned herself to get everything she wanted out of life. I thanked her for everything she's done and how important she's been to me over the past years. I told her that I'd developed deep feelings for her and asked if we could see each other once she retires. I asked if I can take her out on a real day afterwards. Her response: I care about you too, but let's not complicate things right now and enjoy our remaining time together. She fell asleep shortly after, while I was up all night with my heart breaking. The next morning, I apologized for making things weird. She said it's fine, and she understands, and not to worry about it. She seemed to be taking all this so calmly and casually, like it didn't affect her at all. Meanwhile, I'm dying inside. Before I left, she recommended a friend of hers, who is also an escort, that I can see once she retires. Ouch! This was Sunday. For the next few days, it was weird. Usually we text all the time, and she'd send me cute pics and stuff, but there was barely any communication. Then I received an email. She tells me that I've been an important part of her life too, and that I've helped her grow throughout the years. She says she has feelings too, but is unsure of what they are exactly. Somewhere along the way, the lines got blurred, and she said it was her fault for letting this happen. She doesn't want to explore those feelings, because she has to move on with her life, and says it will never work because there's so many obstacles to overcome, mainly the fact that she's living across the country. She said she's open to being friends, but isn't even sure about that, as it might complicate things. She suggested we take a break from seeing each other for a while, and I replied and apologized again for making things weird. I told her that she was special and I will support whatever she wants to do. Well, I'm absolutely destroyed. I mean, I knew this probably wasn't going to end well, but I don't know how I'm going to get over this heartbreak. I don't know if I'll ever see her again. What am I going to do now? No one wants to be with a broken down 40-year-old man. For her, I'm happy she's starting a new life. She will be successful in her new career, get married, and start a family. I was delusional to think it could have been with me. I want to thank everyone for the kind words and support. As for the ones with negative comments, or who attacks me in the DMs, it doesn't matter to me. Nothing that you can say can make me feel any worse than I already do. Maybe it's time for some professional help. Or should I just go and see that other escort? Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.